Hello, I'm here today with Damien Gooden, CEO of HR Central. How are you going, Damien?
Rob, pleasure to be here as always, mate.
Awesome, always great to catch up. So, Damien and I have something really exciting to announce today. We've been chatting for a while now about our various solutions and potential gaps in the services we provide. So, we've made the call that we're going to launch our partnership today. So, in terms of why we're launching this partnership, Damien, what's Xsellerate mean to you?
Oh, look, Rob, we've got a lot of clients and even friends who are starting companies. They've got great skill sets. They're experts in their fields, and they've it's often taken a leap from a previous business to go it on their own. They come to us for HR support because they've not been employers before or those sorts of things. But that doesn't necessarily mean they've got the skill set to go to market. So, chatting to you and looking at some of your history and your experience and some of your clients. Giving an opportunity for those people to actually get the know-how from someone who's done it before, how to go to market, how to raise funds, what questions they're going to be asked, how to best prepare to give themselves the best chance of success, because their success means they'll remain our client and our friend for longer. And we started HR Central trying to do everything for everyone, but I've realised it's better to have partners that are experts in their field, and you, my friend, have that covered in this area. So, very happy to be a part of it.
Fantastic. Thanks, Damien. And likewise, from the Xsellerate side, in terms of what HR Central means for us. So definitely finding, I've worked with a lot of early stage founders. They haven't necessarily managed staff before. They may not have recruited or set up businesses in terms of their HR practice and compliance. So having somewhere to go for that and give them that structure and that comfort, I suppose, that they're setting their business up right to be compliant with all the legislation and regulations that are required for setting up a business. So that's really important, and certainly had a number of founders who are seeking that sort of support currently. So having HR Central there as a partner just makes perfect sense to me. Well experienced in that space. I think over 4,000 customers that you're working with at the moment. So it's reliable. You get amazing ratings in terms of your NPS and the support you provide for your customers. So it's a match made in heaven as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you, mate. It's very kind. Very kind. Yeah. No, looking forward to doing business together with a number of clients over the future.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Damien. Really looking forward to working with you.
Thanks, mate.
Hello, I'm here today with Damien Gooden, founder of HR Central. How are you, Damien?
Thank you, Rob. I'm very well. And just to put it up, heads up at the front, I'm a co-founder. It wasn't all me. I've got two other great founders that I work with and are still involved in the business today. But very happy to be here, mate. Thank you.
Fantastic. But you're the one that did all the work, aren't you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, team effort, and to be honest, mate, our team's grown to 20 now and it's a massive team effort. So couldn't do it without all the people involved, both in the team, founders and our board as well. And all the people, clients, supporters, your good self, people that support us have helped us get to where we are. Very grateful.
Fantastic. No, it's a really good story to tell. HR Central, you're approaching 11 years as a business currently. So obviously a real overnight success, as you say. But you're sitting, you're over 4,000 customers now. You've got amazing ratings from those customers in terms of their experience and really good longevity in those customers as well. So you're obviously doing something right. Do you want to tell us a little bit about one of the key learnings that you've had over that period of time as a co-founder?
Oh, geez, learnings. So many. But I was fortunate. I worked in a business prior to HR Central where we actually had a HR issue. And as a result of that HR issue, I learned a little bit about what HR was because I don't come from a traditional HR background. It was IT developer background before that. We had a good exit out of that business, a mobile marketing business, and now we managed. And they didn't want to take me, and they didn't take the old CEO. And when he told me the news, I said, "Oh, right." He goes, "But don't worry, we're gonna make that HR solution that we spoke about. And we'd had this idea for small business HR support because we didn't have any when we had the issue." And he said, "I'm going to be the chairman and you're going to be the CEO." And I was about 34, 35 at that time, and I'm like, "Okay, sounds good. Let's get into it." So, first time in the CEO chair, learning about all of the different things that need to be done to run a business, having been in operations before, and happy to be a worker bee and do things and be a developer and lead teams and head operations. But it's got to be a lot more strategic, and you've got to be thinking about everything. And the people's the number one. And fortunately, we're in the people business, so it's not hard for me to bring that in. But that is the number one learning for me. It's about people. And I've done some things I think that I've done really well, and I've done some things where I look back and I go, that's pretty ordinary. I've had some people tell me that some of the things I've done have been pretty ordinary. But you have to do the things that you think are the best, get feedback, and then learn. And don't do things that aren't well received again, and continue with the things that are. I think the number one thing of all, though, is personalisation. So what is fit for you might not be fit for the next person. So don't assume that something that works well and is well received by you will be well received and fit for the next person. And that's probably the number one thing that I've learned, and the number one thing that I would recommend to other people is to say, if you've got different people in your team, solving a problem for one person, that solution might actually be offensive to someone else, or negative, or detrimental. So think about the human, and then think about the problem in that context.
Yeah, fantastic. I think that's really good advice, and I think that's applicable across multiple areas of the business in terms of that personalization and dealing with your customers and their stakeholders as well. So you mentioned there that you've had multiple challenges that you've had to overcome. How do you manage that from a individual resilience perspective, and I guess not take it personally, or not not take that on board and to get up the next day and move on to the next thing? How does that look for you?
I'm very fortunate. I'm an overly optimistic person. My calendar is always booked, assuming everything's going to be on time, and the next meeting will be just when it's supposed to be. Life's not always like that. But when you do have some setbacks or challenges, like having that positive predisposition certainly helps, because I'm a constant believer that it's a moment in time. We are here now, but we will be somewhere else later. Also, I got some great advice from one of my co-founders years and years ago. You need to make a decision, and you need to take an action. But then you can always make another decision and take another action. So don't get tied to one decision just because you made that decision based on the information you had at that time. If you get more information, or you try and it doesn't work, make another decision and take another action. I think that those two things, the positive predisposition and that, set you up for an opportunity to say, well, we're in a bit of a pickle here, but let's work our way out of it. The other thing I would say is I'm very fortunate to have an amazing team in the business who help, again, the staff, the team itself, but also the board. I've got an amazing network of friends and family who, if anything I need, they're always there. So having that is, I feel very fortunate and grateful for that. I also like to exercise. I feel like if my body's good, my brain's good. So I'm in a better shape to make decisions and get through any issues.
Yeah, fantastic. So there's a few tips in there, but from the sounds of it, comes down to the people around you, comes down to having that positive mindset and ensuring that you're looking after yourself so that you can therefore focus and look after others. Fantastic advice there, Damien. Lastly, is there anything else that you would add if you're, say, having a conversation with a first-time founder, they're just setting out on their journey, and you were to give them one tip? What would that be?
Wow. I think probably don't be afraid to say that you don't know everything. You sort of, when we first started HR Central, I had this view: we have to have an office, we have to have a boardroom, I have to wear a suit, and we need to have a big sign out the front so people know we're a business and we're real. That's just a view based on history, which is not actually true. And that was we learned that more than ever in COVID when we switched our whole business to a remote first operation. In hindsight, I can see that my belief wasn't actually right, and historical thinking, or just because the way things have been, suggest that we should do it this way is a bad way to do things. Be critical about it, and if you don't know the answer, that's okay. But say, how do you get people around you who you can say, hey, I've got this problem? So talk to other founders, talk to other business owners, talk to people in your network, your investors, whoever it might be. Even talk to someone who's from a different You know, if you're in a professional services firm or a tech company, talk to a tradie. Like get someone with a different mindset and throw the same problem at them, and you'll be amazed at what you get. And you put that into the mix, and who knows what you might get out.
Yeah, amazing advice. So surround yourself with people that you're comfortable or even not comfortable, but to have those conversations with, and don't be afraid to admit that you don't have all the answers. And yeah, have those as many conversations as you can, and get to the path forward. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Damien. Really appreciate your time. Some really sound advice there, and yeah, really look forward to working with HR Central moving forward.
Pleasure, mate. Thank you.
Thanks, Damien.
See you.